Over the last 25 years, I've slept in a lot of different 1-2-man tents. So I was really excited to finally get my hands on the Hyperlite CrossPeak 2 and yeah, give it a go. I've spent the last couple of nights in it and I'm really impressed so far with how user-friendly it has been, how quick to pitch, and yeah, it's been really quite comfortable. So getting into some of the details about this thing, it's light. Hyperlite is saying it's a 1-2-man tent. I've spent the last 2 nights in it with 2 people. It is more than adequate for 2. 220 centimeters long in the floor, and it's about 120 on one end and 112 or something on the other. So there's about 10 centimeter difference between each end. So it does have a very slight taper in it, but to be honest, when you're using it, I don't think it really matters. I don't think you'll notice it too much. Vestibules aren't huge, but they're good enough space to put a bag and things in. Now, 964 grams is the published spec, so it's really, really light. Something to remember with that though, that doesn't count any pegs and it also doesn't count any guy lines. So if it's the only thing that I'm disappointed with this tent is that they don't include any guy lines, and it might be to just try and keep it under that magic 1 kilo mark. I've put a couple of guy lines that I had off another tent on it. They work really well, they're long enough and things. Pretty simple and easy to pitch. It is worth remembering though, this is a single skin, so it's a little bit of a hybrid arrangement, I suppose you call it that, in that you've got a single skin but then you've still got a mesh inner on each side of the door and a strip of mesh down along each edge. So you do get really good ventilation, and they have tried to minimize the amount of condensation that you're going to get in here. I've never had a tent, whether it's a Hilleberg, a Helsport, a Terra Nova, Macpac, anything that I've ever used before, SlingFin as well, that doesn't have some sort of condensation. Now, mostly when you're using a 2-layer tent, that condensation layer happens on the outer layer and the inner is mostly condensation free, especially if you're using mesh. But the reality is you're going to get condensation no matter what you do. This one, it does tend to stick to the Dyneema. So what I found after a couple of nights of use, that even though I had the condensation, unless you actually rubbed your hand along it, would be the only time you would get wet. It didn't want to drip on me. Yeah, it's quite an impressive tent. It's got an 8.7mm DAC pole in them. They're light, but they're still strong. You know, I prefer a tent with aluminium poles, particularly if they're DAC. They've put these little webbing loops around here for you to tie your guy lines on. I think they work really well. They're just a simple solution. It does mean that it does loop around the guy really nicely. What I've done is I've got a fairly light guy line. I've set it up in a self-equalizing system so that I've only got to have one peg point for my guy line. Yeah, you've got a little tensioner up here as well, and a little tensioner down each end for each of the poles, so you can get a little bit of tension on the structure. And as you can see, it's only pretty loosely pegged out here, but it's still fairly tight. So it doesn't drape. Unlike nylon, it doesn't sink overnight as well. So, you know, with a silnylon tent, it gets a bit slack overnight as everything gets a bit wet. But you don't experience that with the Dyneema. So if you pitch it taut before you head to bed, it's still going to be taut again in the morning. So there's a single peg out point down the bottom of each of the vestibule doors, but it has this little clip that you're able to move it from door to door. So it does mean that from the one peg point, you can change which door you've got pegged out. Nice little feature is the inbuilt magnets on the vestibule doors. It's also really nice. I found when you were in it and you wanted to roll the door down, you could just let it go. So you didn't have to fiddle with it. You know, a little bit of a pull and it just comes undone. So I thought that was quite nice, but it doesn't seem to want to come loose at any other time. So you've got fairly large mesh doors. You've got plenty of space in here. So, I mean, I'm quite short, but even if I was taller, which I'd like to be, you got plenty of headroom in here. And I think some of the space in this, because of the single skin design, you don't have that inner that's hanging. So it might only appear on the outside to be about the same height as what a normal 2-man dome tent is, but you've got that extra sort of 5 centimeters that's not with the inner hanging. So you've got these two large mesh doors, one on each side, gives you nice cross ventilation. And down on each end, you've got this strip that's about 5 centimeters wide of mesh ventilation under the edge as well. So the bathtub floor is supported on little stays, so you've got a nice defined bathtub at each of the corner and good all-round mesh to give plenty of ventilation. Now, it does mean that this isn't a winter tent. It's not designed as a 4-season structure. It's not strong enough as far as that goes. Hyperlite say that it is a 3-season tent, so that's worth bearing in mind. This is just a good summer, spring, autumn tent. It's not a depths of winter tent at all. I think if you're looking for a really lightweight 2-man tent solution, you know, so something that you're sharing between each other, at 1 kilo, that means that you're only carrying half a kilo each. So it's really light. So if you're a couple, perfect. If you want to share it with a mate, you save a lot of weight that way. If you're the solo hiker and you still want to be really trimmed as far as weight goes, this is only 1 kilo and you've got plenty of space. It's got a lot of really nice features. It's using the most modern materials that you can use. I'm looking forward to being able to use it as probably my primary bike packing tent. It's a little bit bulky for that, but at 1 kilo it's great and it's got plenty of space. I can take my bags off, put my panniers and things in there as well. So if you've got any questions about this at all, don't hesitate to get in contact with us either in the comments below, via email, or you can even give us a call because we're a shop after all.